So this is a right side row, and we're going to begin the row by just slipping the first stitch to make a neat edge. The second step is to put the yarn in the front, so just like that. Slip the next stitch purlwise off the needle and do a yarn back over the hook, so the yarn ends up at the back of the work. The next stitch you can see here, that's going to be a brioche knit, and you can see there's 2 stitches on the needle, and we're just going to go through both of them and knit like usual. So that's how you do a brioche knit. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did for the first purl stitch. So move the yarn to the front, slip it off purlwise, and then move the yarn back around and over. And then we're back to a brioche knit, and that is just going through and knitting both stitches like usual. So we're going to continue doing this for the rest of the row. So we're going to continue doing this for the rest of the row. When you get to the last stitch, just knit it as you would a usual stitch. So that is the right side row, and now we're going to turn it over and complete a wrong side row. It's very similar, but instead of knitting the first and last stitch, we're going to purl it, or slip it, slip or purl. So the first is you slip this stitch purlwise with the yarn in front, move the yarn to the back of the work, do a brioche knit like we did before, going through both stitches and knitting as usual, and then we're going to bring the yarn to the front, slip the stitch off purlwise, bring the yarn back around the needle, and brioche knit. So we're going to continue in the same pattern as the And then we get to the last stitch, and we're just going to purl it as usual. So there we go. Those 2 rows make up the main body of the pattern, and you're just going to continue knitting until it creates. Bind off with the usual ribbing bind off, but where there's 2 stitches, just knit them together as a brioche knit. And then just purl the usual stitches. Cut your yarn about 3 times the length of the headband, and then just cut the end. We're now going to work the knot, so making sure that you're working on the wrong side of the work. You're going to want to thread your needle with the long end of yarn that you've left, and then pinch the edges together like so, and then fit them together like so. So it's basically a little zigzag and all the 4 edges, and then you're just going to sew along there to create the knot. It doesn't have to be super neat, it doesn't really matter if it's okay, so then you can untwist and see.